Hi everyone, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Durling, my wife Sarah is sitting in once again. And on this episode, we're going to get everybody ready for summer. Whatever you do in the summer, if at some point in time you're probably going to be driving or you're going to be sitting at the beach or you're going to be at the lake. And to us, summer music is yacht rock. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people talk about yacht rock. I don't think I need to tell most of you out there what music is generally considered yacht rock. It's I don't think it's a derogatory term. I think it's an affectionate term for kind of an era which we were alive in, but we certainly weren't, you know, actively consumers of music and yachts during this time period. So yacht rock, you know, if you're into like silliness, I would recommend the Yacht Rock YouTube series that came out probably in the mid-2000s. That's actually where the term came from. Before that, it was just called soft rock. And there are radio stations dedicated to playing yacht rock. There are cover bands that do nothing but these songs. So we thought we would go through and pick out some of our favorite songs that... So you have a playlist on your phone that we refer to a lot. And how many songs are on there?
Hours.
Yeah.
And we've whittled it down a little bit.
And it's still got a lot of songs.
We've refined it by quite a bit. So it was inspired back when I had Sirius radio in my car, and there was a yacht rock channel that we listened to a lot on our... Wasn't our honeymoon, it was the next year when we went away. So that started our love of vacations and our yacht rock playlist. And I don't know, it makes you feel like you're vacation time.
To me, it's summer music. It's laid back. It's, you know, even if you listen to it in the wintertime, it makes you think of, you know, where we're going to go next summer, you know, getting an Airbnb. And,
typically, somewhere so that we can relax. We associate it with relaxation.
Yeah.
But I do want to add to what Marley said to us on the weekend, that it started out as something ironic, and then was it ironic that she used?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then it became something
that we genuinely
love, and she's slightly disturbed by how much we love it.
And I think you have to be of a certain age too to
probably,
because a lot of these songs I remember from when I was little, a lot of them were new to me. And for the most part, there are some exceptions. It has nothing to do with music that I buy and listen to on a regular basis. It's yacht rock. So we both made a list. There's 13 songs on each list.
Should we add as well that some of them would not technically be considered official yacht rock? It doesn't adhere to timeline. I want to start with that. So technically it's supposed to be what, between 70...
Generally it's considered between the mid-70s and the very early 80s. And a lot of these songs do fit that. But
they do, but there's a couple exceptions.
Yeah, there's one all-out spoiler for that, but it fits. And it's funny because people will defend up and down, is this artist yacht rock, is this artist not yacht rock? And even, sometimes it's even down to individual songs. You know, there are some bands that, some of their songs are not yacht rock, some are. But
there are some that are ubiquitous.
There are some that are undeniable, and I think we're going to have some of those on here. So
we do.
Yeah.
I want to say, though, too, that it is, for me, anyway, yacht rock is the feeling. It's not necessarily, doesn't have to be soft rock. It doesn't have to be within those. There are no rules in this case, which I know is contrary to your usual.
This is how our playlist ends up with things like Michael Martin Murphey's Wildfire and Glenn Campbell's Wichita Lineman, which technically don't fit the bill.
And my all-time favorite, which is the John Denver.
Oh, Rocky Mountain High. Yeah.
None of those songs are on this list.
Technically, but
no.
But it's okay. They've become honorary.
Occasionally, he makes exceptions for for me. Okay.
So start us off with. We'll just work our way through the list.
So oddly enough, we have 13 each here. I think that I was only supposed to have 10, and then the honorable mentions became permanent. So I have Ambrosia and You're the Only Woman, and this one is one I do love it for lots of reasons, but I can never remember the name of the song, and so I'm constantly... Tim, do you know which one is this?
Shh. Yeah, there's a shh in the middle of it.
Because I constantly confuse Ambrosia and Firefall.
Yeah.
And then there's a ton of songs between the two of them that are
Quite a
yacht
bit.
rock.
They had quite a few hits, both of those bands.
They did. But this is my favorite. You're the Only Woman, I think. And this one has bongos, right?
A lot of these songs have some really
They do.
in-depth percussion. Actually, most of these songs are really, really well put together musically, and that's one of the things I admire about it too.
Yes.
We can get into that a little bit later.
So I think this is where we get into the fact that while perhaps ironically it started as something theme that we created a playlist for, we do have genuine, not just affection but respect for the musicality.
It's
of
all
some of
it's
this.
a lot. You know, it's mostly, for the most part, it's all immaculately produced, perfectly sang. Ambrosia, they actually. I've learned this later. I think I learned this from CF Tranquility. Started as more of a prog rock band, which makes sense because you have to know what you're doing musically. But their other hits included "Biggest Part of Me," "How Much I Feel." There might be another one but yeah, You're the Only Woman. I think it's subtitled "You and I." It's one of those. It might not be the obvious one, but once you hear it, you go, "Oh, that one." Mm-hmm. So my list, number 13. This is one that goes all the way back to 1975, and the band was called Ace, and their one-hit wonder was called "How Long," and this song features the vocals of one Paul Carrick, who is one of these guys that's just been in the right place at the right time. I don't know how many times, because you know his voice from this song, you know this song, you know his voice from "Tempted" by Squeeze, you know it from The Living Years, "Silent Running" from Mike and the Mechanics, and you know it on his own with "Don't Shed a Tear." He's a great vocalist. I think he's Scottish. And this is just a smooth piece of yacht rock. I like how it fades in, and it just easy living listening to this one. No worries.
In spite of the subject matter.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's a relationship song, but it was actually about
the band. Yeah, one of the members of the band was supposedly going to leave, and yeah.
Number 12, I have James Taylor, "Her Town 2." And I love this song, and again, subject matter, we've talked about this before. I think it's really catchy, melodic, of course.
Yeah, it's James Taylor with backing vocals from a guy named J.D. Souther, who
co-wrote a lot of Eagles.
Yeah, and on the vocal on here, he puts you in mind a lot of Glenn Frey.
It's beautiful harmony,
yeah,
too, between the two. I just love the song. There's certain bits of it that I love, that she can have the house and the garden, and
he gets the boys in the band. It's a very it's a very adult themed song. It's about the aftermath of a relationship breakup or a divorce. It wasn't exactly autobiographical. It was almost like life imitating art, because it was 2 years later that he would divorce Carly Simon. But I'm guessing by this time things weren't very peachy. But yeah, what I like about it too is that it's very tempered. There's no over the top vocalizations. It's like a lot of these songs that we consider yacht rock. It's a story. Mm-hmm. There's a beginning, middle, and end, and it's just really good.
Yeah, and I don't know how much he's really considered.
This one is an outlier because James Taylor music isn't generally considered to be. It's soft rock, but it isn't usually considered yacht rock. This song, for some reason, fits the bill. It might be that slight Eagles connection, maybe.
Probably. There were others that I love by him too. I think that are on
Fire and Rain.
I love Fire and Rain. Yeah.
So the next one for me is a song that you might not know by the artist or the title, but if you're of a certain age, there's a saxophone break. That's it. Jerry Rafferty and Baker Street. It's unique because that saxophone break is the chorus. There's no real chorus, and it's a story song. It's a really in-depth story song about Jerry Rafferty, formerly of Stuck in the Middle with You, Steelers Wheel. It's a song about him going back and forth to his lawyer to get himself out of some bad contract, and finally by the end he's free of it and he gets to go home, And there's a cool slide guitar solo in it too. It's quintessential yacht rock, and it's one of those songs that sort of break the mold, because generally we're talking about not only American bands but West Coast American bands. But Jerry Rafferty was pretty sure he was Scottish, and not the other well-known song he had in this period was "Right Down the Line," which is a good song too. But this one is the definitive one.
Is it this one that Dave Grohl?
Yeah, the Foo Fighters do a version of this.
Yeah.
It's on the, I believe, like Marley played it for me, I think it's on the expanded edition of Color and the Shape. Yeah.
It's just fun. Number 11, I have Jay Ferguson, Thunder Island. And this one...
this is one where you've got to look at you've got to find the album covers.
It's
lot of hair, a lot of facial hair, a lot of chest hair, a lot of open shirts. Yeah, this is one I was not familiar with. I mean, it sounds, it could only be from, I don't know, 76 or 77 or whatever it is. But this is one where I didn't know it from a kid, but now I love it. It's very vacation-y.
I think we're more and more amused by it as time goes on, basically.
Jay Ferguson came from a band called Jojo Gunn, and I don't know much about them, but this is a solo album from him. And in another thing that I love about this, and one thing I like about the Yacht Rock series, because this plays to my wanting to read the liner notes and know about who guested on whose album. So much of these Yacht Rock artists are well-known session musicians, and you'll find this person from that sang on this, or he co-wrote that. Thunder Island features slide guitar from Joe Walsh, so you've got an Eagles connection there. And also, two things. Jay Ferguson is not to be confused with the man of the same name from Sloan, because there's one of the members of Sloan is named Jay Ferguson. But Jay Ferguson also later on didn't leave the music business, but went on to write TV show themes. And one of the most famous is a little show called The Office, the U.S. version. So, there you go.
Okay. It's you.
Okay.
11.
Next, this one is actually a little bit older than a lot of the yacht rock songs, but it's so perfectly yacht rock thematically, maybe not musically. Classic one-hit wonder. Band was called Looking Glass, and the song is Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. And what a fun song.
What a fine wife.
What a good wife. And I laugh every time. What a good crash. There's a cymbal crash. Yeah, they were strictly a one-hit wonder, and, you know, if you're not familiar with this song, it's a, you know, tale about this girl that works at a bar pulling whiskey down, and she falls in love with this sailor, but, you know, his love, his life, and his lady is the sea. And so it shows up on yacht rock mostly because of the nautical theme. It's not exactly what you'd call smooth, but it's not heavy either. It's just, it just is. And most recently, it had a new life in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It appears on that, so which is great for digging up classic 70s songs.
Mm-hmm. It's just fun, and you can tell that it's hard to talk about it without wanting to sing the lyrics, basically. Yeah. Okay, number 10, I have Al Stewart, Year of the Cat.
What a fantastic song. What a unique, utterly unique song to have been such a big hit.
I've always loved this song. I remember hearing it like in the car. I think we were in Holton probably getting gas or something at some point in time, like as a kid, and I remember hearing it. But this is one that I've had on playlists forever, and every time it would come on, Tim comes over and he's constantly looking at my phone to see what the song is, because we like very different types of music. Often there's very little overlap. This yacht rock playlist is one of the major overlapping, you know, as in our married life. But this one he's come to love, I would say. I think you know it now when it comes on.
It's so well put together, and we watched a YouTube clip of he and his band doing this on the Old Grey Whistle Test on the BBC, and the number of musicians it takes. And there's a guitar solo, there's a saxophone solo, there's a piano solo.
Like everybody has a turn to solo.
What else is there? Isn't there another? I don't know. It's a very in-depth song. It's a story. It's a fascinating story. I'm still not sure what year of the cat. I mean, I know there's a year of the tiger, year of whatever.
Well, that's
but,
what it's in reference to. I don't know what year that.
But this is another case. I believe he was British, and the other big song that he had was called "Time Passages." This is one of those ones. Yeah, it took a long time. I knew the song, but I could never really place it until it got going. And it's a long song too. Like there's so many long musical passages. The key changes it goes through. It's a brilliantly orchestrated song and arranged, and
I just love it. I love the piano.
Yeah,
like that kind of lilted.
Yeah. It just makes it's great. Yeah. So next one, one of the, I guess you could call them quintessential bands of not just yacht rock, but in the 70s. I mean, this is a well-loved band, and people talk about how brilliant and sardonic their lyrics are and biting, and but yet they have this smooth music, is Steely Dan. Now, neither of us could pick one Steely Dan song to put on here. So what I picked was the solo song from Donald Fagen from 1982 from his album The Nightfly. The song is called IGY, which I can never remember. It's like intergalactic year or something like that. But you would know the song is What a Beautiful World This Could Be. And it sounds like it could have been a Steely Dan song. It's got a fun, saxophone or horn line in it, and it's very smooth. And I'm actually kind of surprised. It wasn't a huge single, but I'm actually kind of surprised it did as well as it did in 1982 because it's very 70s sounding. So that's going to take the place here of a Steely Dan song. Although there's one coming up which puts you in mind of Steely Dan, I think.
On your list.
On yours.
Oh.
But we'll get to that.
Okay. I didn't realize that was 1982. I guess I just assumed that it was more of a.
Steely Dan's last album, or at that period, came out in 1980. So then he put a solo album in 82.
So they stayed together longer than I would have thought.
And they got back together in the early 90s.
Okay. Number 9. This was an unlikely one, just because of the time period, but it's the Beach Boys. Sail On, Sailor, and probably mostly, again, due to the subject matter.
Yeah, I mean, the Beach Boys, you would think a natural for yacht rock, but this is a really cool song, and it's, I believe, now, I got to get this right for Matt. He's a huge Beach Boys fan. I think this is from an album called Holland, which came out in 1972, and you might not know this is the Beach Boys. From listening to it, because the lead vocal on this was a guy who was in the band for a short time called Blondie Chaplin, and he doesn't have a voice like any of the Wilsons or Mike Love. The harmonies, though, are classic Beach Boys, and it's kind of a bluesy kind of shuffle. Phil Collins has said that this is one of the songs that he kind of had in mind when he wrote the song Misunderstanding for Genesis, which is also kind of a shuffle. And it's a great song. It wasn't a big hit. And but to me, it's one of those was overlooked. I think a lot of big Beach Boys fans will swear by this song. I'm not sure. I know that last year, the year before, Los Lobos did a version of this, and it's quite faithful. So to me, this fits the bill for yacht rock, not just lyrically, but musically too. It's pretty smooth. Of course, it's the Beach Boys. How could it not be smooth?
True.
So next one is a song that I distinctly remember hearing on the radio when I was a kid. I had no idea who it was. I just remembered Moonlight, Feels Right. I'm sorely out of tune. The band was called Starbuck, and they were a one-hit wonder. The song was Moonlight Feels Right, and it is it's actually what it sounds like. It's a late night kind of song, and it's made the yacht rock rounds for years, and it's got I think it still goes down as the only top 40 single to feature a marimba solo. So it's got that going for it. And one of the things I love is that before each chorus, the singer laughs. He does a little chuckle, and I listen for it every time, and it never lets me down. And yeah, it's great. I've always loved the song. I just didn't know what it was.
I don't think I knew it until much later. This was one that you had added to that.
I insisted.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at 8.
Yeah.
10cc Dreadlock Holiday, which is so vacation, like
Well, it's got a reggae beat.
It has a reggae beat.
Yep.
Just very laid back, fun, little bit of a story.
Yeah. I didn't know this song. I wasn't familiar with the song. At 10cc, I thought I'm Not in Love, which is a gorgeous song, and The Things We Do for Love. They were a much bigger band in their native UK. And the only other thing I knew about them is this is where the video directors, Godley and Cream, came from. They were members of this band. But Dreadlock Holiday is a fun song. It's got a reggae beat, and it's basically about a guy who's on vacation, and each verse he encounters a new kind of situation.
Adventure.
Yeah. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
We're going to say that a lot,
yeah.
I think. But such and such is just a lot of fun.
Next up is a lesser-known song by maybe a lesser-known name, but you'd know his voice. So the Doobie Brothers, in the early 1970s, most of their songs featured lead vocals from their lead guitarist, or one of their guitarists, Tom Johnston. So he's the voice of China Grove and Listen to the Music and Rockin' Down the Highway. And he left the Doobie Brothers in the mid-70s, and of course he was replaced by Michael McDonald. And he put a solo album out in 1978 or 1979, and he only scored a minor song, but boy, it's a good one. The song's called Savannah Nights, and it sounds like one of those early, a cross between one of those early Doobie Brothers songs, because it's got that it's got that jangly guitar, but because it's the late 70s, also has a bit of a disco beat. And the lyrics are fun.
The lyrics are fun. We had a discussion about what he was truly saying, and I felt strongly that it was the lady's delight.
I thought it was the land of delight, but he is the king of Savannah Nights. It's made our yacht rock list, and I think musically it totally fits. I just don't think enough people have picked up on it, but that's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I said one of the songs on this list is way out time period wise.
It is, and that's because it's John Mayer, Wild Blue, which is off of his
Sob Rock
album that came out in the summer of 2021.
So with this album, this is, I won't say it's a yacht rock album, but he was definitely channeling a lot of 80s, a lot of early 80s, and a lot of what used to be called soft rock, and he did it incredibly well. I mean, it's not normally my cup of tea, but I like a lot of the songs on here, and the nostalgic part of it goes right down to the album cover, which has got him looking like it could be, a lot of people have said it's the missing solo Eagles solo album cover with the muted lighting and the font, the way his name and the album title, and even the fact that because he's on Columbia Records, it even comes with the Nice Price sticker on the cellophane, which to me is just, that's absolutely brilliant. Wild Blue, at first, to me, the song that I thought of was Starbucks Moonlight Feels Right. Towards the end, I'm thinking more Steely Dan. And not but Steely Dan with guest guitar by Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits, because his guitar playing at the end of that totally sounds like Mark Knopfler.
It really does.
And it's awesome. I mean, of all the songs you could have picked, I think that might be the most yacht rock. But there's other great songs on there too.
Oh, on that particular album?
Shot in the
there were a
Dark
couple of other ones. Tim has very graciously allowed me to add them to our yacht rock playlist.
I don't even know if it's honorary yacht rock. It's, it might be considered too new, but it doesn't sound like it came out in 2021. It sounds like it came out in 1981 or.
Well, he was very intentional, I think.
Yeah.
John Mayer, when he put this together, in terms of the sounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I highly enjoy.
Okay, next up is, in the 80s, he was known as the king of the soundtracks. But in the late 70s, he may be one of the founding fathers of yacht rock, Kenny Loggins. And probably his biggest hit single that wasn't on a soundtrack was the song This Is It. And it came, and again, the album covers are everything. This came from his album Keep the Fire, which... if you've ever seen it, he looks very messianic on it.
halo behind us.
Yeah, yeah, very.
I think it's the sun, isn't it? It's supposed to be.
I think
It's not
so.
a halo. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is it. It's interesting because very breathy singing
That's what I was just gonna say.
in the verses, and then a little bit more forceful. And again, with the crossover things, this one famously features backing vocals from one Michael McDonald.
Of course it does.
And what I find the most amusing about this song is that it was used for the NCAA playoffs in 1980.
Because it's all about like seizing the moment. Right?
Yes,
Like,
but normally
carpe
they'll pick
diem.
like a, I don't know. I'm thinking more what, Too Unlimited or something really upbeat. Not, this is it. Like I know it's all about this is it, and they're going for it. Like I get it, but yeah, but it fits right in with yacht rock for sure. Oh, next one for you.
I have George Benson, "Give Me the Night," and I did not know this
what a
one
fun
before,
song.
but it's such a fun song, and
Yeah.
every time it comes on, this is one I don't think I ever skip. Like sometimes I get a little bored with some of the songs, and occasionally I'll skip to the next when we're streaming in the car. But this one I never do. This is so happy and bouncy, and I have this visual of, you know, if I knew how to roller skate. Being
The
on
video,
roller
yeah,
skates.
the video
Yeah.
is fun because he's carrying his big Gibson, you know, hollow body guitar on roller skates.
And short shorts. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And the song was written by a guy named, he's deceased now, a guy named Rod Temperton, who also wrote a bunch of songs for Michael Jackson, including Rock With You. So this has a little bit of that very late 70s, early 80s
Very much
feel.
so. It fits right in with
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, a fun song, and it puts you in a good mood. Speaking of songs that put me in a good mood, and I know that this isn't the song or the two songs that he's best known for, but Rupert Holmes. Everybody knows Escape, or better known as the Pina Colada song. A lot of people know the song Hymn. Those are both great songs. The song that I picked from him was a lesser known song that still hit the top 40 called Answering Machine. And like all of the songs that I've heard from him, it tells a story. And the story is basically about he and this woman that keep missing each other on the phone, and they have to leave a message on something that was probably relatively new at the time. So that's why
It's very gimmicky.
you've even got the touch tone, the beep, 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 like you've even got the touch tone during the verses. And I just really, really like this one. And I think I'd like to shed a little bit more light on this song as opposed to the other two, because everybody knows those songs, although Hymn is a pretty great song too.
It is.
But Answering Machine is, it's typical Rupert Holmes, what I know about him. And yeah, that's my pick from him.
Number 5, I've got Double, Captain of Her Heart. And this is one I've always loved.
This is from 1986, so this is late period yacht rock. But this, to me, this is a midnight song. This is a late night song. You can almost hear echoing off of the water in the production. It's so immaculate.
It really is. Like, it's a perfectly crafted,
Yeah.
you know, yacht rock song from 1986.
Not a lot going on lyrically. Like it's very repetitive, but you don't mind. Beautiful piano in it. Beautiful clarinet or whatever it is that's doing that.
I have no
There's
idea.
a little bit of clicky production in it, hitting little things with wood. Yeah, it's a great song. And I don't know if they were called double, if that's how they said it, but
Oh.
I think they were from Switzerland. I always said double, but because that's how it's spelled. But
We're very Canadian.
and there's like 5
Apologies.
different videos for it too. Because the one I remember seeing on Much Music, it took about 4 before we got to that one, and then we found another one still. And I don't just mean on TV shows lip syncing the song. I mean 5 concept videos. Like money was spent. There were sets. There were actors. There, you know. Yeah.
Money was spent. I don't know. I picture there must have been a video of them in a lighthouse or something, because that's how when I hear the song, I have a visual of.
Well, we watched
her
them all
waiting,
in a
her
row.
waiting in the lighthouse or something. Did we?
I think so.
Then I made it
It
up.
was a lot of videos. Next up, okay, so a band that sort of predated yacht rock, but became a big part of it in retrospect, is the band America. And Sarah's actually got this CD. This is their greatest hits CD, which is called History, because all of their 70s albums, or at least most of them, started with the word H. Because even though their first album was self-titled, it later became known as the Horse with No Name album because of that song. And they had Harbor and Hideaway and, of course the other ones aren't coming to me now, but this one's actually subtitled History. And of all the songs I could have picked, so there's Horse with No Name, I Need You, Sandman, Ventura Highway, Sister Golden Hair, Daisy Jane, I picked the song Tin Man. I really like this song. Lyrically, it's kind of intriguing. I'm not 100% sure what it's about. Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man. Tropic of Sir Galahad. It's very yacht rock. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of heading down the highway to whatever our vacation destination is. So that's why I picked that one.
I've always loved that one. I also have a more recent fondness for Daisy Jane. And I don't know if that's just because we finally added it to our list, so I've heard it more, but it's a good one too. Next, I had Fleetwood Mac, and this is Hypnotized.
Yeah, it's like, how do you pick a Fleetwood Mac song? Because they kind of, not all of their songs I would consider yacht rock.
Dreams, maybe.
Dreams, and You Make Love and Fun, and I don't know, Gypsy, I don't know. Once you start getting into Tango in the Night stuff, it's almost too new. But
and such 80s production too.
We thought we'd shed a light on a song, a lesser known song that needs more attention. And because back in the 70s, if people did have a yacht, chances are they had an 8-track player.
So they probably had something by Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, and but this is a lesser known album by them. Very bizarre cover. The album's called Mystery to Me. And Hypnotized features the late Bob Welch, who wrote it and sang it and played guitar on it. And it is just as it's titled. It's hypnotic. It's an amazing, amazing song.
It sounds like nothing else.
It's so dreamy. Mm-hmm. And Mick Fleetwood keeps up this intense shuffle all the way through the song. It's never like in your face, but he just lays that backbeat down and it stays down. The guitars are dreamy, the vocals come in and out, and it's just a really, really cool song. And it should be, it did get some airplay once they became really famous, but I think more people need to discover this song and how great it is. And
it is really excellent. And the more I hear it, the more I like it.
Yeah.
It seems.
This is another one we never skip.
No, never. Usually, sometimes I seek it out.
Yeah. So next, one of the crossover instances with yacht rock comes when these guys are session musicians, and the band Toto were made up of session musicians. So Steve Lukather on guitar, you'll hear him on Christopher Cross songs. Jeff Porcaro on drums, you'll hear him on Steely Dan. You'll hear him on Michael Jackson songs. David Paich as a keyboard player and a songwriter. He wrote songs like Turn Your Love Around by George Benson. And on their own, of course, a lot of Toto songs are considered yacht rock. Not all of them. As much as I love it, I don't think Hold the Line's yacht rock because, dare I say, it breaks too much of a sweat. And a song, again, sort of like Hypnotized, although it was a minor hit, I want to shed a little bit more light on a song that I don't think gets enough play, and it is about as laid back as it gets, is the song 99 from the second Toto album, Hydra. And this one, actually, it appears on here twice. It's the first song on Program 3 and the last song on Program 4, and none of the songs are broken up on here, which that's kind of unique. 99 is a song by Steve Lukather. It's basically piano-based, and I don't know, it's just got this laid-back vibe to it, and it's long. It's like 5.5 minutes long. It's got a long outro, but I just really like it.
I like it too, and it was not one that I was familiar with before. And 99 is really supposed to be like a woman's name. Am I correct? So,
I've often heard it said it's talking about. I want to say it's a science fiction movie where nobody has names; they're just numbers.
So, but that's essentially the meaning.
Yeah.
So it could have been, take your pick, any other.
It's not about Wayne Gretzky.
Right. Aren't you funny?
And there's a connection between Toto and the next song you're going to talk about.
At number 3, I have Michael Jackson, Human Nature. And again, I I love this song so much. And I have a fond memory of calling my mom, and I don't know where, it doesn't really matter. I had moved out west for quite a number of years, and I had this song stuck in my head, and I had no idea what it was, knew nothing more than like I think I picked up the phone and I called Mom and I said to her, this is all I can remember of the song, what is it? Because it was stuck in my head and I couldn't get it out, and it was Human Nature.
Of course, it's from Thriller. It's one of the many hit singles from the album. Kind of an outlier. Michael Jackson as an artist isn't yacht rock. This song fits the bill musically, even if you didn't know of its history. But musically, it was written by Steve Porcaro of Toto, and with that in mind, you begin to see, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It was kind of different for Michael Jackson at the time, and that's why Quincy Jones said, we need this on here. This is the flavor we're looking for. We need something that's very different. Now, the lyrics were written by a guy named John Bettis, who's a well-known lyricist, but yeah, it's very smooth. It totally fits the yacht rock bill. Number 3 for me is probably, if you were to, people that know yacht rock, if you were to say, give me the 5 essential yacht rock songs, this would probably be one of the first ones that they say. It's the Doobie Brothers' What a Fool Believes from 1978. And of course, this is well into the Michael McDonald years. They became about as smoothed over. I don't think they've got like 3 guitar players, and I don't hear any guitar on this song. All I hear is the synthesizers and Michael McDonald, multi-track Michael McDonald. And it was years before I actually read the lyrics to the song, and the lyrics are actually quite funny, because most people they know the chorus, but they don't know what he says. They know what a fool believes.
I still don't, and I know we've looked them up.
But basically, it's about a guy that he remembers having a history with a woman, right, and she vaguely knows who the guy is. So they're remembering things very, very differently. And I think that basically the idea is the guy's a little oblivious to reality. So, what a fool believes, he sees. No wise man has the power to wish it away. And, of course, that's not what it sounds like. But it is very, very smooth. And it was a huge song. I think it won all kinds of Grammy Awards. And I remember it from a kid. And I used to get it mixed up with Robbie Dupree's Steal Away, which sounds a lot like it.
Very similar.
So I guess we'll give an honorary mention to that song. But they both kind of have that dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Nothing like the busy piano on some of these.
Oh yeah, well,
rock songs, like
again, musically they're always spot on. Yeah, so now we're getting into the truly, Hall of Fame stuff.
Very much, like the artists, in particular. So at number 2, I have the Eagles. I can't tell you why, and this is probably, I would say, it's one of my favorite songs of the last couple of years for sure. And I never skip it. I often will try to find it, and I love it so much that it's been on Apple Music. Suggests like it's a favorites every week. And
if we're almost home, driving home somewhere, she'll make sure we get to that song and it plays out before
yeah, I love it so much. But Apple knows me, and that's.
So that was from their last album before they broke up, The Long Run, and sung by he only joined for that album. He was a new member, Timothy B. Schmidt. And yeah, very, very smooth. Not all the Eagles songs are yacht rock. Like Hotel California is not yacht rock, and Life in the Fast Lane is certainly not yacht rock.
Definitely not.
The early, like Take It Easy, stuff like that isn't yacht rock. This one's yacht rock, and I think One of These Nights is the other one that gets a lot of yacht rock radio play, because they're just a little smoother. Glenn Frey's guitar solo as the song fades out it's not complicated, but it's just right. It's all the right notes and it's just perfect. The right places.
And it's probably my favorite part, I think. I do love the Timothy B. Schmidt vocal, but I do love that fade out.
At number 2 for me is Andrew Gold and Lonely Boy, and what a fantastic song. This is one that almost tips the scales into just plain rock, but it's got a great piano in it, and he wasn't a household name. He's mostly known for this song, and curiously,
The Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls theme Thank You for Being a Friend. He originally wrote and recorded that song, and it was a minor hit for him. But Lonely Boy was a top 10 single. And lyrically, what I think is funny is because, once we get into these things, we tend to go on Wikipedia and read about them. Now, he swears up and down the song was not autobiographical. So he was born in 1951, and the opening lyrics, like he was born on a summer's day in 1951. And then he talks about his sister being born in 1953, and the lyrics echo that. And then he talks about leaving home in 1969 when he was, and that's when he left to go to LA to form a band. So lyrically, it's kind of only child syndrome, and then you're not an only child anymore. Mm-hmm. But you can overlook all of that because melodically, musically, it's so good. You just want to hear it again. You do, and I love the bridge. Yeah, the bridge is my Goodbye, favorite. Mama. Goodbye, Papa. Coming so on much. Through. And then there's the multiple solos again, right? In this one. Yeah, and it's got one heck of a pick slide, which I believe is Waddy Wachtel, who's another famous session guitar player. Background vocals are by Linda Ronstadt. We Must Tend to Her Needs. She's so much younger than you. I think that's Linda Ronstadt on the background vocals. Okay. So, yeah, fantastic song. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So, at number 1, I have... probably the definitive yacht rock song. I think so. And it's the title of our yacht rock playlist. Yeah. Because I love it so much. It's Christopher Cross Sailing. So, just... what can we say? If the yacht rock... had a mascot, it would probably be the flamingo on the cover of his first album. I think so. The image and everything, just the feel of it. And the canvas can do miracles. Just you wait and see. Because it can. I've never been on a sailboat in my life. No, I'm not going on one with him. But no, I'd probably get sick. But anyway. Yeah, we're not. It's nice to think about. No, sure. But you can almost feel like the ocean breeze. The ocean breeze and the wind in your hair, like. It's that perfect. It really is. And I don't know what else I can say about it, honestly. Now, I have a fondness. It's funny. I don't remember sailing, but I remember Ride Like the Wind. I remember hearing that on the radio a lot when I was a kid. And we tried to pick one by each artist, but I'd give that one an honorable mention, too. Same album. You would, if it were that were on your list. Yeah. But this is mine. And sailing, I do remember as a child and have continued to appreciate it all these years later. So, final song we're going to talk about is a relatively later song. It's from 1982. It's Southern Cross by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Slurred my words there. Of course, Crosby, Stills, and Nash aren't strictly a yacht rock band, but they do have some songs with the beautiful harmonies that just fit. Mm-hmm. But this is the main one, and this, again, lyrically, it's about being on a boat, and I think it was Stephen Stills, it's mainly his song, and he got divorced, and what did he do? Bought a sailboat. He bought a sailboat, and he went sailing, and to clear his head, Poor Stephen Stills. But a great song. It's, what I like about it is it's almost like, and I don't know if they did this on purpose, but it's almost like it was a first take in that he's reminding them what the words are before they sing. Because you can hear him go, how's it go? Well, before he says, before they sing, I've been around the world. Oh, yes. And then almost like a reverse echo. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But a great song, and only at number 18 on the charts, which, again, I'm surprised by, because I remember hearing it a lot. And the song that charted higher from that same period is Wasted on the Way, which to me, I don't understand how that song was a top 10 single in 1982, because it sounds so out of time. But you just never know. But, there's plenty of other songs we could have picked on here, but to get us started on a yacht rock road trip, these are pretty darn good. And yeah, if you haven't experienced yacht rock, it's like, to me, it's like perfect summertime music, and we always have a lot of fun. So let us know what your favorite yacht rock songs are out there. Are there any that we're missing, and why? And if you've got any memories attached to them, let us know. Thank you very much for watching this Yacht Rock edition of Tim's Final Confessions.